Our incline hammer curl is going to be focusing on our biceps and our forearms. It is a strength exercise for these muscle groups. You're going to want a bench for this exercise, and you're going to want to put it in a slight incline position, somewhere around a 45. Every bench is going to be a little bit different as far as their angles here and where you're able to adjust it. If you're using one of our Reebok benches that we like to use here for our daily shred workouts, it's going to be on the first incline up from a flat. So right about kind of a 45 bend here. We're going to grab two weights and we're going to lean back against that bench, making sure those shoulder blades are staying planted against that bench through that movement. We're not leaning forward like this. We're keeping those shoulders back against that bench. We're then going to grab our two weights. We're going to let our arms hang down right at our sides here. And we're going to try to keep those upper arms perpendicular to the floor. So keep the elbows pointed at the floor throughout this movement. We're not going to let them come forward. What it is doing by going into this incline position here, leaning back, is it's making it to where we can't really use our torso to help generate momentum and swing those weights up. It's instead going to isolate the biceps more. So you're going to want a little lighter weight than typically you're able to do on like a standing normal hammer curl for this one. So grab those weights, shoulder blades back against that bench, elbows staying pointed to the floor, and then we're going to control them up into that curl and then get that full stretch as we lower all the way back down, making sure to keep the shoulder blades against that bench throughout that entire movement. Biggest mistakes made on this one, number one, just like on a normal hammer curl, not keeping the upper arm stationary, but instead what that's going to look like is swinging forward like this. Get your shoulders out of it, pull it back, get those upper arms locked in, get full range of motion without letting that elbow move. You don't need to get the weight all the way up to the shoulder here, because what that's going to do is that's going to pull the elbow forward. So get all the way up as high as you can until you feel that elbow start to come forward, and that is your stopping point. Another big common mistake made on this exercise is kind of getting those shoulder blades up off of the bench. It's not as common on an incline one as it would be kind of like on a seated or a high incline hammer curl, because you're putting more weight backwards, but it does still happen. Sometimes I'll see people come forward like this, especially as it starts to get tough. They want to come up with that torso because it kind of gets them in a better position for curling up. It's kind of going to be a little bit easier as you come up, so fight that. Keep the shoulder blades back, keep that back straight, keep that upper arm stationary, and keep those weights in control throughout that entire movement. Like I said, pick a little bit lighter weight than you would normally use for a regular hammer curl before you get comfortable on this one especially, and then you can go ahead and start to progress on up as soon as you get good with that range of motion and keeping that arm still throughout that movement.